What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. So we have more coaching staff changes once again. This one holds a little bit more significance, right? Even though the guys we're getting ready to talk about are lower on the coaching staff totem pole, they actually carry a fairly significant amount of weight because of the advantage we would have had in the 2024 NFL draft, and generally just in a time where information is king and you want to consume as much of it as you can. We had a leg up here. So for the Shrine Bowl, originally the Jets had three assistants that would have been coaching in here to help us out. And as mentioned before, the Shrine Bowl, generally speaking, is the lesser event between that and the Senior Bowl, and the one that for the most part captures mid-round, so think day 2 to day 3 prospects, right? And this is a prime area for the New York Jets. Now, obviously, there's the sexy picks in round 1, our Joe Alts, Olufashanu's, the Talise Fuaga picks. But as we've seen in multiple reports, and generally great team building, especially when it comes to the offensive line, something that's eluded Joe Douglas, something that's eluded a lot of GMs, but the great ones find a way to get it done, is they can capitalize on hitting mid to late round picks that contribute. Now, that doesn't always have to be right away, but generally you do see those guys that are maybe unexpected starters right out of the gate, whether they just flashed quicker than expected, maybe developed quicker than expected, or injury opportunities opened something up for them and they took advantage. Nonetheless, this happened for the Jets. I mean, I seen a crazy stat out there that the last time a offensive lineman drafted by the New York Jets received a second contract was former guard Brian Winters. And this was a guy that I would say the fan base was legitimately split on. Some people really liked the guy. I won't say necessarily loved, but some people downright hated him. Didn't love the second contract, anything of the sort, but he was kind of a stalwart for us in terms of being available and healthy, being a versatile piece for the Jets. But that was way back, I want to say like 2013 maybe. So it's been a long time, especially considering the fact that we've seen Joe Douglas spend a fair amount of draft resources and free agent money to try to solve this problem. So when it comes to our two assistants, Ricky Manning Jr., and Michael Gabriel. Ricky was a defensive assistant for the New York Jets, specifically in the DB room. He had the opportunity to get hired by the Raiders as a cornerback coach, and this will be his first opportunity being a position coach, which is great for him. And I did love the caption, article headlines I've seen where the Raiders wouldn't let him leave the building. And then with Michael Gabriel, he got hired by the Giants as a special team coordinator, and he's coming from being a special team assistant for the Jets, where he was just behind Leon Washington, but under the tutelage of Brant Boyer, who looks like one of the best special teams coordinators in the NFL. Gabriel was even able to get a endorsement from Thomas Morstead while he was talking about his offseason hopes to rejoin the Jets. But those go out the window. Now those are going to be resources for the Raiders and the Giants to be able to lean into. And I won't say it is necessarily the worst thing in the world, right? Defensively, you can slot essentially any guy into this New York Jets defense, and I have a high level of confidence that we can get them developed. Same thing with special teams. I mean, it's been an emphasis for Robert Saleh to make sure that he can clear the bottom of the roster for guys that could contribute potentially in a pinch, but definitely would be special team aces for Brant Boyer. But again, in the information age where, teams want to consume as much of this as possible and have that firsthand account, this sucks for the New York Jets. We finally are going to have some extra comp picks to help out with the day 3 selections that Joe Douglas has. And this doesn't take away a lot. I mean, we still have Ben Wilkerson, who's going to be working on the offensive line, and, arguably the most important position for the Jets this offseason to try to get figured out. But still, it would have been nice to kind of see things from 3 different accounts. That's no longer going to be the case. And so at this point, we're relying on one assistant. I'm sure we'll send some representation there still to kind of, help scope some things out. But again, it would have helped. You think about Ricky Manning Jr.'s spot. There's the underrated need that, I expect we won't retain Bryce Hall. We're going to want to find a replacement there. Maybe you want to try to find another, nickel cornerback that can back up Michael Carter II appropriately. And then special teams is always an underrated demand for any NFL team. So we'll see how all of this ultimately pans out, but it's great news for those men. Hopefully things go extremely well for them. But definitely a blow to the New York Jets, just in terms of being able to kind of leapfrog some other teams when it comes to fully understanding some of these later prospects. But considering we don't have as many day 1 and day 2 picks as we've seen in recent years from Joe Douglas, hopefully this means that he can have his team hone in on a lot of these day 3 guys and really figure out who it is they can pinpoint that may be able to contribute right out the gate, because it almost feels like we need another class like that, at least on the offensive side of the ball. But ultimately, let me know what you guys think. Again, pretty soon here, I should be dropping some more tackle scouting breakdown videos, but also want to get into some of these senior and Shrine Bowl players that I think we may have a particular interest in. And I think we're going to get into our first mock draft video pretty soon as well. But nonetheless, again, let me know your thoughts and comments, and I'll catch you guys again. Peace.